Good day. This is Brian Smith with Christmas Whistler. One of the things I really enjoy doing is playing Clue with the family. Unfortunately, they always beat me. And so as a programmer, I said to myself, hey, I could write a program to keep track of all the clues in the game and have it help me determine who had done it. And so I did that. And one of the benefits of writing a program is that you can share it with other people. So this is my ClueDetective program here at version 1. It does a lot of amazing things. I'm going to take you to the Lookup tab where it mainly looks up information that it needs, but I've copied and pasted it into here. Some of the 7 things that this program does to help you determine who done it in the game of Clue. Now the first really easy one is cards you hold, of course, cannot be the WDI or the who done it. So if we go back over to here to the play, I've already dealt out a game. I'm going to say that Colonel Mustard has got a 100% chance of not being whodunit because I have that in my hand. So this is a list of all my cards that I have in my hand. As you can see here, we're going to have a total of 6 players, which is the maximum, and each player is going to have 3 cards. So you can specify the number of cards that each player has, and when that adds up to 18, then you know you've got the right number of cards dealt out. And so I'll show you why this is important, and here's how you specify your cards. Okay, back to the Lookup tab here. So of course, cards you hold cannot be whodunit. If the me player, your player, guesses and somebody shows you a card, then that card cannot be a whodunit. So that's the other obvious thing with Clue is if you say Professor Plum did it in the dining room with a lead pipe, and somebody shows you the lead pipe, then you know the lead pipe was not part of the WDI. All right, that's pretty easy. Number 3, it's a little bit more complex. This is kind of a rule of 2, is what I call it. If any player, player number 1, for example, takes a guess, and player number 2 shows an unknown card, it's one of the 3 cards that you don't really know that's out there. But if I already know where the other 2 cards are, then I know that player 2 had to have shown the 3rd card, and that card then becomes a WEDI, or not a WDI. It's not who done it. So that's a very powerful rule that you can keep track of everything, of course, but this program does that for you. Step 4, one of the things with Clue is if a lot of people say, hey, no, I've got nothing, that's information. So this program keeps track of every bit and little schnibble of information. And if there's a bunch of people that say, no, I've got nothing, if eventually, if there's enough people that say, I don't have this card, then that must be whodunit, right? So that's the ultimate way that you discover whodunit is by finding out all the people who don't have that card. And so that would be then the WDI. So that's a very powerful thing. And that includes also, too, for guesses from me. Then in addition, if you know, and that's why we specify the number of cards that each player has, if we can figure out how many or which cards each one of these players has, like for Alex, if she has, if we know she has green and ballroom and candlestick, just as an example, then we also know all the other cards she does not have, and that's just one additional piece of information then for the I got nothings, and then the more that we find out about that, the more I got nothings out there, and the more then we can deduce who actually did the deed. So you'd actually be able to deduce then the WDIs. So that's another very powerful way. That really helps out later in the game when you really start saying, oh yeah, I know which ones Alex has, I know which ones Billy has. Later in the game this really helps out, but then it starts kind of rollerballing. All the information that you've been gathering through the entire game can be analyzed, and this program does that. After every move, it goes back and it looks back to the first move and analyzes, recalculates everything all the way to the last move. So it remembers everything and it recalculates everything based upon that information. Also, too, number 6 here, you can always, if somebody says, yeah, I've got one of those 3, and of course they can show that to another player, not you, but another player. I bump that the suspect for that card up, all 3 of those up 10%, and the more that happens, so if Fred continually says, yeah, I've got the hall, or I've got the hall, I've got the hall, I've got the hall, that would be 30% times 30% bump up chance that that he does have the haul. So you can start kind of guessing that. I think he's got the haul. You don't know for sure until maybe you did a suspect and he actually proves that he's got the haul. But this can help eliminate choices that you need. Eliminate the possibilities that you need to determine to see who's got cards and who doesn't cards. It kind of helps you with that. It doesn't prove it one way or the other, but it can help you reduce the possibilities that are out there so that you can make a final declaration earlier than everybody else. Another thing I found playing with my family, number 7 there, is that people will tend to kind of make the suspect based upon some of the cards that they have in their hand, because they're kind of fishing for another card and they don't want to get extra information they weren't specifically looking for. So I bump up those cards 5% each time the player suspects them. And we'll see how that works. So to play the game, we've already set it up a little bit. Normally you would click on New Game, which would reset everything. We're not going to do that because we're already kind of getting started here. So we've got the number of cards, we've got the cards that we have, and we're just going to start playing. So we just say here the die is rolled and Alex goes first. Alex is player number 1. Up to player number 5, you want to arrange these players from your left clockwise around the table. So Alex is to my immediate left and Fred is going to be to my immediate right around the table. So Alex is going to do, I suspect, green in the study with a knife. Now I'm not going to play the whole game here. Just kind of a one turn basically through back to me with the knife. Okay. And what's going to happen with this is player 0, which is me, is I'm going to be the only one that has anything. So you can see it went through Billy, I got nothing, Lauren, I got nothing, Connie, Fred, then all the way to me. And I'm going to show that I do have the knife in this case. Again, I've already dealt out a game here. And so let's see what the analyze the ClueDetective determines here. So Alex made the suspect that it was green. In fact, you can see here's a record of all the different turns. It was green, study, and knife. And this is kind of nice too. It shows that I showed the knife, because you always want to, if somebody asks for the same thing twice, you always want to show them the same thing 2 or 3 or more times so that they don't get any additional information. So it kind of keeps a log of that. So it's green, study, and knife. And so here's the 5%. So maybe she has green, maybe she's got study, and we know she doesn't have knife because I have the knife, and that's the card that I showed to Alex. But maybe more importantly is all the other players don't have the green and don't have the study. Alex might have green, we don't know yet, and she might have study. So these 2, green and study, is definitely something the next time we get a turn, we're going to want to play with that. We're going to try to see if we can identify if Alex has green, or maybe green is the whodunit, or it was done in the study. We want to be able to determine that. So let's keep going. You notice this automatically goes to Billy, who will be the next player around. Billy's going to suspect Scarlet in the kitchen with a rope. And here, Lauren, which is the 3rd player, shows Billy a card. So we don't know what that is, right, because that's done privately. And so we suspect. And what do we find out? We found that that Billy, right, showed the Scarlet and the kitchen and the rope. So we kind of bumped that up 5%. Lauren showed one of these cards. We don't know which one. So I bumped it up 10%. And you can see I add those up over to here to the temporary calculations. And this suspected column here kind of is a percentage indicate of who we think is the greater possibility of who done it. And so you can see here, because there's a little bit of activity with Scarlet, there's a possibility that Lauren showed Scarlet. So the possibility that that is the suspect has gone down, because that card, has a greater chance. It's not anything is 100% yet, but a greater chance that it's there. So you can kind of keep track of this to kind of get an idea of who might be a suspect or not. All right, so that was Billy's turn, and then Lauren's going to go, and she's going to suspect Plum, Lounge, and Rope. Plum, Professor Plum in the lounge, with the rope. Okay, and that's going to be Fred. Goes way back over to Fred. And if Fred shows a card again, we're not going to know who Fred shows, but we show the suspect. Right? And the interesting thing is, too, is now, we had a little back and forth with Billy and Lauren and with Fred. So, something's going on with this rope, right? It's been a lot of people suspecting on it and a lot of people kind of showing. So the odds that this is part of the whodunit is reduced. Again, we don't know exactly what's going on with that, but that's something that's really involved with that. Okay, so let's just kind of keep going through here. So Connie, it's Mrs. White in the library with the wrench. And with this, Billy is going to say, I've got something for you. And again, we're not going to be able to see exactly who that is, but you can see here we're just adding up information about, Fred says, no, I don't have it. Alex says, no, I don't have it. Of course, we don't have any of those. And Billy says, yeah, I've got one of those, and shows them the card. So we're, again, building up this an array of information about who has what with this. Nothing spectacular yet. Okay, back to Fred, and now Fred's immediately to our right. So Fred's going to suspect Mrs. White in the dining room with a revolver. And it's going to be Billy. He's going to say something about that again. Again, we don't know exactly what. And we learn more information about all that. And then remember, this is our first turn. And Alex's first turn, which she is immediately to our left here. She did the, we can take a look. So Alex did the green, study, and knife. The green, study, and knife. We had the knife. The study still looks interesting, and green still looks interesting. So let's try to flush out the green guy here. So I'm going to say I suspect green. In the billiard room, now I have billiard room with the lead pipe. And so we say, I suspect that, and that's going to go over to Lauren. And Lauren's going to show me a card, and she's going to show me the lead pipe. All right, so what that does is you can see now, for sure the easy thing is Lauren, here's Lauren, just showed me the lead pipe. And so we make these colors, the lighter they are, the less chance they are. And of course, that can't be the knife, can't be the lead pipe because Lauren has that. So white is the color that's, no chance of it happening. This is kind of a pinkish kind of color. I've got a yellow color if it's greater than 50%. And then red, of course, this is whodunit. So we know green was the one who did it. And the reason we know it is Alex suspected green and study. We know those went all the way through. And the thing is, we just did ask for green and billiard room. Right, here's ours, green billiard room and lead pipe, and we were shown the lead pipe, so we know where the lead pipe is. We know where the billiard room is because it's our card, and we know that nobody else had green, and because Alex had originally asked for it. And so here's then the conclusion that if nobody else has it, then that's going to be who done it. So this will keep track of all the information for all the different players, gives you a report on who done what, so you can always reference back, gives you actionable information that you can base your accusations and your suspicions upon. Of course, it doesn't tell you exactly what to do or how to do it or what order, and it's a useful tool. I've played it a few times, and it makes me competitive with my family, which is all I was really looking for as a programmer. So, thank you very much. Again, Brian Smith with Christmas Whistler. If you have other ideas about how to make improvements to the program, let me know. You can always send me an email to ChristmasWhistler@gmail.com, and that's a great way to get a hold of me. And so, yeah, be interested in hearing your thoughts and cards and letters, and let's win some clue with this. Of course, you got to tell people that you're playing with this, but go off and have some fun with this. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.